has changed for the past years. This is from 2000 to 2014, increased participation in organized leisure time activities, doubled. The time parents and children spend together, this is from 97 to 2014, doubled. Parents know this, that it is important. Give your child at least half an hour a day. That's not too much to ask, even though you're tired and it's after work. You know, be focused on this every day. Just an hour. Hanging out late, doubled in another way, half down. And at the same time as these changes and a lot of other changes have been happening, this has been happening. So we say that the decrease in substance use is simply, it's a byproduct of the better environment that children live in. Because we have never talked about drugs. We're not teaching the children to be responsible for their own well-being. We're the community, the adults, they should be responsible. So they should do what they can do to change the environment. And this has been working. I only have about 200 slides left, so you have time. Just a little bit on the international development. Emmett asked me to mention this and also a few words on how this is implemented. In the afternoon, I don't know who is staying for the afternoon, but then we will go deeper into the actual technical details regarding implementation, okay? But this is just a brief. So, in the year 2005, substance use in Iceland had gone down by around 50% in all categories in 8 years. And at a conference in Europe, this was introduced and people started asking, what are you doing? So 8 municipalities started working according to this methodology in 2008. Now it's been 35 communities, as I mentioned, 18 countries, all over Europe. And I'm just going to go fast through this. And as I say, Planet Youth started last year because of the interest shown in other continents. We have actually had inquiries from all the continents except Antarctica. I'm not lying. Just because of this story. And yeah, and we are all over the world now basically teaching the methodology through Planet Youth. Now, this international work, we have a so-called data processing and coordination center in Reykjavik. That center can basically be based anywhere in the world. But what it does is, through that, we make sure that, for example, during the next data collection, which is in October this year, in the north, it's in May in the southern hemisphere. Through this center, we make sure that all the communities taking part at the same time, they have exactly the same working methods. The data collected is exactly the same, so all the work processes are coordinated. So if you collect data here in Galway, you can be sure that the data collected in the next town or in the next country is totally the same and comparable. And this goes for, you know, training, sampling, printing, optical scanning, etc. And finally, and as we'll talk about more today, is getting started. The first question is always, how much does it cost? And this is very normal. And the municipalities who take part, they become members, and we set this for 3 data collections over a period of 5 years. Because if you do a data collection once, it basically only tells you the situation once. But if you do it again in 3 years and again in 5 years, then you may start seeing a change over time as we did. And on the average, we were calculating this here for Ireland yesterday. It's less than 10,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't be sizes. We were 10,000 per region per year.
Yeah. For the full guidance and the support in the program. And so we are a non-profit institution, so this amount allows us to do it, but not for profit. And after the municipality becomes a member, I mean, you have to start by doing the mapping. You have to know the evidence about the situation. You have to get the overview, and you will, from the first mapping, see the situation in your community in comparison with all the other communities within about 2 months from the data collection. And you will also see who or what are the risk and protective factors in your community, because we look for this. It's through an automated process. And after this is on the table, the work can begin. Too often a report is looked on as a final product, but in our case, it's just the start. And the municipalities, they get all these indicators in these reports. And also, each and every municipality receives the full data set for their own community. So for later research purposes, you can always dig down into the raw SPSS data set, but only for your community. We got this beautiful sentence from our friends in Spain, in Tarragona 2 years ago, and they said, after the first data collection, this is the first time we see the actual status of youth in the community. And it kind of made us happy. 2 more slides. People ask, how is this done? I mean, the municipalities do some things, and we at ISRA do some things. So the municipalities, they translate, they collaborate with the schools, they draw a sample if that's necessary. Sometimes the population is just fine. They print the questionnaires, they scan the questionnaires into PDF after the data collection, and then they send the questionnaires up in the cloud, and we take them down in the center and capture the data for the report and process. And there's a technical report. On the other side, we coordinate the work, we make the layout of the questionnaires, we capture the data, process, make the reports and the data sets, and after the first data collection, we start working with you on actually getting the information going. You know, it may not just drop down in a drawer somewhere. There is a 5-year commitment. You know, you have to start working immediately after you have the situation. So the to-do list: map the situation, find the local risk and protective factors, you address these factors, you form the groups who are working on improving these factors in the communities. Yeah, the information, you give it out into your communities as well as you can, and measure regularly. And from this, I mean, what are the outcomes of this? It's you use a proven methodology to reduce the substance use. You have a tool to work with. You can strengthen the local collaboration and bring together people in different fields, change the living environment of children, and improve health and well-being of children. And isn't that something to strive for? I think so. More in the afternoon. Thank you.